like to welcome Nitzan Nuriel, the former director of the Counterterrorism Bureau at the Prime Minister's office. And here as well with me in the studio, a member of the Palestinian Legislative Council, Mr. Ahmed Ghoneim. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you very much both for joining me. Let's start by talking about the stabbing to death of the soldier last week near Beit Kahel. Nitzan, is something new happening on the ground, or is it more that we're used to seeing, you know, in the Palestinian arena?
No, unfortunately, there are not good news. This is part of the routine of the territories, the West Bank, or you name it. It's happened in the past. It will happen in the future. We need to take some measures in order to secure our citizens and soldiers. And I believe that they will try to achieve those achievements from their point of view.
Ahmed, what brings two young Palestinians from the village of Beit Kahel to take a knife, look for someone and kill him, having no relations to Hamas or to the Islamic Jihad or to no one? They just went out and went to kill an Israeli. Why?
No, it's not the issue of functions or belong to this faction or that. This is the life in the occupation territory. With the continuous of the occupation, you have to expect something like that. People are frustrated in West Bank and Gaza because of the continuous of the occupation. Lack of hope and among the people, and I believe those people who had carried the knife is victim too. They are part of, they spend their life under the occupation with pain, suffer for themselves and their families. This is the atmosphere.
Is that an excuse to kill someone?
This is excuse for the continuous of the occupation. And it's the factory, the big factory of the violence. This is the occupation. In the occupation, the violence will be stopped immediately.
Nitzan?
It's not acceptable. I believe that the young generation in the West Bank should take responsibility and maybe to change the regime and looking for solutions. To blame the other side all the time, it's not an answer. And to blame the occupation, which exists and not exist in some other areas, it's not relevant. The issue is about responsibility. And I believe that the young Palestinian generation should take responsibility for their own life.
But Nitzan, didn't Israel took back during the second Intifada the responsibility to our hands and left the Palestinian Authority with nearly no responsibility at all?
No, we need to divide between security issues, which is mostly upon the Israeli responsibility, and yet with a lot of cooperation with the Palestinians. We cannot ignore it, that beside all the political friction, both the Palestinian security forces and the Israeli security forces are fully cooperate. By the civilian side, again, I believe that it's about responsibility. Zero connection between violence on the street among the Palestinians themselves with the occupation. Zero connection between...
Ahmed, how do you answer to that?
No, it's, I can't understand that you ignore the fact that the occupation is using the violence against the Palestinian people, and you ignore the cause of the function. I'm asking you to live just 2 months under the occupation and to feel the same feeling that we are feeling under the occupation. The anger which are facing every day the people, those young people, that they are facing the military soldiers in every minute, everywhere. You are talking about some locations without any occupation. The occupation is totally in all the country, in all West Bank and Gaza, is still, including Gaza, the siege. You can't ignore the feeling, the anger of the Palestinians because they are more than 70 years under the occupation.
Let me surprise you a bit.